And hello and welcome to These Five Things show. And we have got the beautiful Emma Watts. Woohoo!
Hi.
Yes,
Hi, Sharyn.
so excited to have you say yes to showing up and being part of the show. And I love the Energizer Bunny that Emma is. And the choices that she's made and the have-a-go attitude and the spirit that I know she's going to be sharing with you today. So welcome.
Thank you, Sharyn. Thanks for the opportunity.
A pleasure. And we've got a couple of people joining us already. So a little hello to Miss Kelly. I know that Kelly is with us today. So hello to you. It's fantastic to have you here. So what we're going to do is get started with a few questions. So the first question I have for you, Ms. Emma, is, tell us a bit about the Daisy Chain and why you started your business as such.
Sure. So the Daisy Chain is all about connecting entertainers and instructors with aged care facilities. So my background is in teaching Zumba Gold, and I had an opportunity to teach in nursing homes, which was very exciting. And then I just saw a need for there to be more activities and more life and energy brought to our elderly residents who are living in aged care facilities, basically.
Awesome. And so, what is it that you love delivering the most to your audience? And I guess your audience is probably not only the aged care residents, but the people who are helping those people on a daily basis.
Yeah, so probably the most obvious is a smile. For a lot of the residents in aged care, and not all of them, there are some that are very happy, but for some of them, it's a very big change from living their independent lives and being able to cook their meals when they want and be free to go to the shops or go to the park or do whatever they want to be able to do. So for some of those people, it's a big change and it's quite confronting. So for me, it's just about being able to go in and help to bring a smile, help to bring some laughter, and also the amazing benefits that music and movement have to people that are in aged care and at the later end of their life.
It's incredibly the fact that you've seen that gap and that you wanted to so genuinely and generously give that joy to these people who are experiencing, as you say, this next chapter of their life.
Yep.
And so in, your career as an entrepreneur, not necessarily just in this window of time, but as you went into the Daisy Chain, what's been a milestone achievement that you've been woohoo about in maybe getting the message out there, or that you've been, the acceptance? What's been that milestone?
It's funny because we think of milestones as being big things. For me, it's about actually the little things. It's more when I have maybe a participant who doesn't join in on most activities or doesn't engage with the staff or visitors, and suddenly we can play a song and they sing and dance. Or I have a resident who was a Tivoli dancer who will get up and do the high kicks with me like she used to when she was on stage. So it's kind of those things that are the big things for me, because even though they may seem small for those people, it's huge. And the fact that someone who is sitting all day can feel energized enough to get up and have a dance and have a wiggle and a shake with me is amazing. One thing I did with my children, which actually kind of kicked off the Daisy Chain a couple of years ago, was we visited nursing homes every day for 30 days. That was a huge achievement. That was actually the idea of my girls and I together as a combination. And we visited a different aged care facility every day for 30 days over the course of the school holidays, including Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day. We went in and spent time with people that may not have had visitors at that time.
What did you learn through that? I mean, that's probably a whole lot of stuff that you could talk about for days.
Yeah, I learnt, sadly, that a lot of residents don't get any visitors. That's kind of what prompted us in the first place. I learnt, well, my children learnt the value of committing to something and seeing it through from start to finish. And there were days that we didn't really feel like going. And there were definitely days that the kids didn't feel like going because they were 9 and 7 at the time, and they definitely didn't feel like giving up every day of their holiday. But we'd made a commitment and we saw it through, and the sense of achievement that they got at the end of it was huge.
Wow, what an extraordinary experience that they will, role model onto
Yes. Yep.
in their entire life, and who they teach that aspect to as well.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The other part is, as being an entrepreneur, there are parts of our development that we all have to conquer of some description or fill those gaps. And for you, what did you identify with some of the gaps that you needed to fill in, accomplishing and starting this business and running the business?
Yeah, I guess one of the big things was understanding that I don't need to know everything. And I don't need to wait until everything's perfect, which is something that I'm still battling with some days. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I like to wait till everything's ready, but it's never going to be ready. And it doesn't matter how big or small your business is, there's always going to be challenges, because those challenges are the times that you're going to grow the most. So the challenges are the next stage of growth, if you like. Mm-hmm. Social media, I love talking about myself on Facebook, but talking about a business and a personal life are obviously very different. So I'm still learning more about social media, and I thought I didn't need Instagram, but I do need Instagram, and I need Facebook, and I need, even maybe Snapchat down the track. The legalities of running a business, and when it comes to social media, what we can and can't put on social media. Obviously, I'm dealing with people who are at a very sensitive stage of their lives. And what I might be thinking is fun and happy is actually out of character for that person, and could actually be seen as being not humiliating, but maybe embarrassing, and in a way that they wouldn't have lived in their previous life. So just being mindful of all those things. Yeah, that's probably the biggest things. Also understanding, and this is more a personal thing than a business thing, but the being positive and being happy has to have its balance as well. And being a positive, happy, bright person, I also need those times where I can be reflective and be quiet and not be the bright, crazy, happy one that's trying to make everyone smile.
Well, that's right. Yeah, you've got to have those introverted moments, and
yes.
And often people would make assumptions from people who have that outgoing energy like you do, Emma, that would be always the environment that you would seek out. And yet the quiet, calm, just actually on my own is quite elevating for you to have the energy to give back as well.
Yep. Yeah, and it's not always about making people happy. It's and this was a big thing for me actually really recently, is obviously I'm going in and I'm doing music and movement, and my instructors are doing music and movement and bringing joy, but it's also really important to allow people the space to be themselves. So if they're feeling sad, they're feeling sad. It's not up to me to cheer them up. It's not up to me to make them happy, because sometimes people just need to be sad and reflective and just be however they want to be at that particular time. That was a pretty big breakthrough for me.
And as you just said, cheer up, it actually might be just the fact that you're showing up. And, that's the part. There's someone just sitting there and taking, the words on that the person has actually, there's someone to share those words with, or those thoughts, or, those sorts of, that moment.
Yep, absolutely.
So going from the gap to the goal, what is, a goal that you would love to, or you're working towards, or you would love to see happen?
So my inspiration for the daisy chain was partly my nan, as I've explained and you've probably seen, and she sadly passed away at the end of last year in a aged care facility in England. The big goal is to obviously be a household name here in Australia, and for people to think of me when they think of, or to think of the daisy chain when they think of aged care and activities, also to launch in England, so that we're basically spanning both sides of the world which obviously kicks in with my background and my nan's background of living in England.
Oh, just amazing. And so I guess it's a matter of understanding for our audience, what is it that, even if you didn't have a talent, or if you did have a talent, what can we do to support the aged care facilities getting more visitors, getting more inspiration, getting more, fun, I suppose, or energy into their places?
Yep. Well, we are always looking for entertainers, instructors. It can even be, we've just arranged a flower arranging workshop with a florist in one of our facilities for Mother's Day. It doesn't necessarily need to be activity or movement. It can be basically anything you can think of and anything that you enjoy doing. We also have a volunteer visitor program. So if you have an hour a week or an hour a month that you'd like to spend just giving back to someone that maybe doesn't have a regular visitor, that's fantastic as well. You can just go to our website. There's a volunteer visitor section on the website where you can pop your details in. What we actually try and do is organise for visitors to be matched with residents who have similar interests. So it might be musicals or gardening or history. We match the visitors according to their interests, but also the interests of the residents themselves.
And when you're talking about going and volunteering to sort of be this visitor, you would then be assigned to a particular one or two people in that time that you would visit?
Yep, that's right, yeah.
Or local area.
Yep, exactly. So on the form on the website, you can pop in your postcode and you can pop in what your interests are. And then when we have facilities that might have a resident that are desperate for visitors because they don't get visitors, we can match you up according to your postcode and also to your interests as well.
Excellent. And what are you looking for in the person that would be offering their time? Is there a couple of little tips you would give them to, say, hey, you don't need to, be doing anything more than but just being a listener? What would be some of the, the encouragement? Because I think sometimes we sit on the edge of saying yes to some of these things, but potentially those volunteers are going, oh, but will I be good enough? Or will I be committed enough? Or will I be whatever? What would you say there, Em?
Yeah, that's definitely something that comes up is like, I really would like to, but I don't know what to talk about. Or, it's almost like, what can I actually bring? Bear in mind that some people never get any visitors, and that's not an exaggeration. So for some of them, it literally is someone just to go in and chat for 15 minutes or have a cup of tea with them or sit outside in the sun and play quotes for 5 minutes. Just being there for some people. I had a lady the other day and she really didn't want to talk. She just wanted to hold my hand. So it's actually not about you, which, it's just about being there in whatever capacity you can be. I think if each of us could give an hour a month, there wouldn't be any lonely people in aged care facilities, which is pretty powerful when you think about it. So an hour a month of your time, if you've got children, you can take children in, older people and children just have this kind of magic that happens when they get together. As I've seen with my own children, some of them just want to sit there and play cards or colour or just chat. So there's no real expectation other than just giving of your time, basically, and being yourself.
I was just also thinking this, may not be something that you encourage, but I'm sure it would be, is that if you did sort of have, a few girlfriends that you decided, right, we're going to go out and do this together and go for an hour and then go and have lunch together or something.
Yep, perfect.
Once a month, or if you belong to a social group or a community group that can get involved and doing it together, then you feel like it's a shared activity as well.
Yep. Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Awesome.
And anything that you don't need to be able to sing and dance and, entertain. It's just about being there.
But again, I know that you've had people do history lessons and be doing different craft and stuff. So if you have anything, talent, we appreciate it as well. Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, across our feed right now, the website for the daisychain.com, you can find there the information that Emma was talking about, the application forms, and definitely what we're after is distribution. So help us spread the word because, it's just such an amazing gift. And how we can also want to get this kick started is that we were going to, Emma has got a wonderful class that she would love to extend and offer to an aged care facility in your local area. So what we'd love you to do is go onto the website. I'll pop the link in the feed once we wrap this up, and you can enter the draw to then be, the giver, the blesser of that wonderful offer. Thanks from Emma and the team. So definitely have a look at that, and we'll pop the link in there. So we are just about going to wrap up this beautiful part one of talking about doing life as a woman entrepreneur. Thank you so much, Emma.
Thank you, Sharyn.
Back for part 2 at 1:30, where we'll kick off, and we're going to talk a bit about, how to help people to feel loved. And so I know you've got some amazing tips around that as well. So thank you, Emma, for the first round, and we'll look forward to joining us for part 2. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.